Well, hello Divi Nation, and welcome to another brand new Divi use case live stream where each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to your Divi websites. And today we're going to be showing you in this live stream how to add CSS focus state styling to elements when filling out a Divi form. Don't forget to check the video description for more info on this live stream use case. Also a link in there to our blog post, which goes along with this video. So check that out and let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So make sure and let us know, or let me know, that you can hear me okay. I'm coming in all right on the live stream. Looks like my Facebook people are not receiving me for some reason. Maybe we're good. All right, so give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. That way I'll know we're good. Let us know where you're from. Introduce yourself. We'll be, as we go along in this tutorial, feel free to ask any questions. Looking forward to jumping in and getting started in this design. Should be a quick one, but should be, something to get those design juices flowing, and some cool things you can do with focus state styling. Just to give you a quick preview of what's going on, what we're going to be working on today. Here it is. So real simple form here that I got from one of our pre-made layouts. It's just a simple Divi contact form. As you can see, or if you're not familiar with what a focus state is, or anything like that, basically we're just like a button has like a when you hover over it, it has a hover state. Well, when you click on a field inside a Divi any form, it engages what is called the focus state. So it's when it's on focus, if you will. And as you can see, this one, whenever I click inside one of my Divi fields here, it adds some custom styling to these other elements surrounding it. Like we have like this box shadow here. The actual form has scaled in size a bit to bring more attention to it. We added another background color to the section containing this form. All that was triggered simply by clicking inside a field to fill out a form. If I click outside of it, it goes back to normal. So it's only activated whenever you focus on a field element. And you can also see that little text there, get in touch, shrinks a bit, kind of takes the focus off of that. Really brings in the attention to the form itself. Probably something you could use to boost the user experience of filling out a form. I don't know, but it does kind of give you some options to style things differently whenever you are in that focus state. All right, so that's what we're going to be doing. Let me check over here in the chat, make sure you can hear me loud and clear. Hello, Chris. Chris Hurd, welcome. Sounds good in San Francisco Bay. All right, really close to the Elegant Themes folks over there. John from Ireland, welcome. Hussein says it sounds clear, and you are from Italy. Awesome. I've been there and I loved it. Sobri from Indonesia, hello. Adalius, hello. And so we're good. Everybody's hearing me okay so far. At least it looks like. Henk from the Netherlands, welcome. Assam, Little Rock, Arkansas. And Al Maman, I'm not sure I pronounced it right, but you're from Bangladesh, welcome. Glad to have you. All right, so I'm going to get things rolling. Again, feel free to keep the discussion going, ask us some questions, and If I can't answer it, hopefully someone in the chat will. All right, so getting back to our tutorial, if you're just joining us today, we're going to be adding some CSS FocusState styling to elements when filling out a Divi form. Sounds like a complicated title. It's really not that complicated. Once we get into it, I'll show you a little bit of how to do it. And the real key to it, guys, is this right here. It's called Focus Within. It's a CSS pseudo element, actually, or pseudo class, I should say. And it's something that gets applied kind of automatically behind the scenes whenever, actually this one doesn't, Focus Within. But if you're familiar with the focus state or the hover state pseudo class, those get added to an element behind the scenes in CSS, and you can attach it to a class and style it whenever it's in that certain state. So this Focus Within state allows us to get, or actually target the parent elements or the surrounding elements of a form field and style those as well whenever you click that field. So if you're familiar with Divi, you know that this little form field, that's this little field that has my name in it, right? That's a form field. In Divi, you actually have a built-in or some built-in style options to style that field on Focus. So that's kind of native to that the contact form module, the email opt-in module, comments module. You can style those fields in the Focus state. But what we're talking about is not just stopping there, but actually styling additional surrounding elements as well using this CSS pseudo element or pseudo class Focus Within. So that's where we're going. Hopefully it'll make more sense as we go along. To get things rolling, we're going to do a brand new page in Divi. I'm just going to give it a name, FocusState Styling, and I'm going to click to use the Divi builder. And also just a reminder, there is a link to the blog post that goes along with this tutorial in the video or show notes below the video, just in case you need it. Okay, so let's choose a pre-made layout just to jumpstart the design here. I am going to use I already forgot the name of it, the travel block, that's it. So I'm just going to search for it because we've got, 197 layout packs now. It's pretty impressive. Scrolling down is kind of becoming a tedious process. So I'm just going to start by searching travel, and I'll just do travel blog. There it is. And I want the contact page. So travel blog contact page. And I'm going to click on use this layout. As that loads, just going to quickly look in the comments, see if anybody new has joined us. Hello, Assam Kelly. Sorry, I need new glasses. Ebolia from Hungary. Oh, sorry, Hungary, not Hungary. Hungary. Awesome. Welcome. And Luca Power. What a nice name. Strong name, from Germany. Awesome to have you here. Oh, and he also has a question here. Oh, wait, he's not the first one. Can has a question. When you focus form label, is it effective top, bottom, side section to move because you changed box size? I have to think about that one. Not sure what you mean by that. I think what you're saying is, can you change where the label is placed? Is that what you're saying? Just send me a comment, make sure I'm understanding that correctly. Maybe I can address it. But if that is the case, this tutorial is not going to show you how to do that. That's not something that can be done by Divi's built-in options or anything like that. Like for example, if you want this placeholder, actually I think technically that's what that is. That's a placeholder, not a label. Actually, I'm not even sure. I have to inspect that. I'm pretty sure that's just a placeholder instead of an actual label. Labels are normally on top of the form field. Placeholders are the text within that kind of disappear once you start typing. But that's a good question. Maybe we will circle back to that. Luca, your question was, or you had a problem every time I insert an image on my website. When I host it, it doesn't show up. Can someone help? All right. So with a question like that, I'm going to leave it to our group to kind of chime in if you can. It's not something I can really take the time right now. I want to keep things focused on this tutorial, but it is a good question. I would reach out to our support team in the chat on our website, elegantthemes.com, and they should be able to help you out. Good. All right, let's keep going. So I got my, just to bring you up to speed, got my pre-made layout loaded up, because basically all I'm looking to get is just a working content form module within a section. So I'm actually just going to leave all this stuff here. In my preview, I took out the header and stuff just so you can see it, but maybe we'll add it to the or apply the same concept to this email opt-in form here as well once we're done, just to kind of show you how to do that. So right now what we have here is, I'm going to open up my focus down here, my layers view. And then once my layers view is open, is open, makes it easier for me to find the stuff I'm looking for, click on stuff I want to click on. So layers view is my new best friend. If you haven't been using it, I suggest you do. So there's my contact form within my column within this row here. I can click on it here or within the layers view, doesn't matter. So regular contact form has my default setup, basically a name, email, message. These are my fields, and go in here under my fields options. You can see that it has what is called fields focus background color, so I can change that. Fields focus text color. That's the ones I'm talking about, like the built-in options we have to style those fields on focus or in the focus state. And we're gonna not only apply some of that or apply a style to those, but we're also gonna use some custom CSS, and I'll show you how to do that, to use the focus within CSS pseudo class to style other things as well whenever you click on that field. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm just trying to be clear. All right, so that's what we're working with. First step is we are going to, I guess we're going to go back to the contact form settings, and I do want to add a title. So let's just do that. Make sure and bring my modal up here so it's not hidden. All right, so I'm gonna add a title to the contact form just so I can change it with some focus within CSS later on. And I'm just gonna put get in touch. And I'm gonna go over to my design tab, and just like I previewed earlier, let's just go ahead and add a focus background color. It's gonna be one of those RGBA colors. with some transparency behind it. So focus field background color, I'm going to make it this kind of like, I didn't do anything. That's because I didn't copy anything. Okay. Sorry about that. Yep, that's not working. Okay. I feel like my keyboard is breaking. Okay, great. So for now, we're just going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm just going to give it some kind of color. It's light red here. Bring it down to like here. Give it some transparency. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's close to what I want. Okay, so that's my focus field background color. I can test it by clicking in on the field there. And let's change the focus text color, a field's focus text color, to just straight up black because I really want it to be pronounced. There you go. So now that's my focus field text color there. And I'm going to jump over to my advanced tab, and this is going to be key here. I'm going to add a CSS class. So I'm just going to call it Divi form focus. So with every element that you want to basically change when clicking on a focus field in the form, I'm going to give it a class, a unique class. That way I can target it later on. So I'm targeting the form just in case we want to change the style of the form, maybe give it a background color. I'm actually just going to change this H2 within the form with this class later on. But so I'm giving a CSS class to this contact form. I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to go to the column. So the column within this, the basic parent column of this container. And I'm going to add some padding to it. Just give it a top and bottom padding of 5%. Left and right of 3%. Because I'm also going to add a custom class to my column because I want to add some additional focus styling to the column when I click on a field on the form as well. So Divi column focus is what I'm going to call this class. And lastly, I want to add a class to my section. So I added a class to my contact form. I added a class to my column here within the, I'm sorry, the parent column of the contact form. And now I'm going to go straight over to the section. I could add one to the row if I wanted to change something in the row or whatever, but I'm just going to add it to the section here, give it a custom class of CSS class, call it Divi section focus. All right. So now we're going to be adding some custom code, and I'm going to try to help explain what this code is doing so you can easily make tweaks to it as you need. But to do that, I'm going to create a code module. And before I paste that in, I'm going to take a short little break and look at the comments, make sure I'm not missing anything. Good question. Where do you open the layer view? So it's in the section down here. So let me zoom in. This little section, not section, settings menu here. So when I open that up, it should show up on the right, depending, and there it is right there. That's the layers view. There we go. Good question. All right, looks like we're good for now. I will take your silence as you are ready to see more. So going to the code module. This is where we paste in our custom CSS. I'm going to paste in the one that I've already created. And I need to make sure, let's try that again. First things first, add a style tag, because this is actually in HTML. So I want to surround my CSS with style tags there, and then paste in my CSS. And I'm going to make this nice and big so you can see it. It's not a whole lot of code here, but let's go ahead and maybe I can size up my screen a bit. That's not going to work. Yeah, that's nice and big, isn't it? Okay, so here's the code. As you can see, notice the two things I want you to notice. First is the classes, the custom classes that we added earlier. So this is for my Divi form focus. That was for my contact form. This is also for my contact form. This is the class for my column, Divi column focus. This is the class for my section, so Divi section focus. And immediately following each of those classes here is this CSS pseudo class focus within. And that is the key here, because that is telling, basically representing basically the Divi form style when a field within that contact form has been clicked on. Because when that field has been clicked on, it's in the focus state. So this is saying, well, if there's any focus within this form, I'm going to style the form. If there's any focus happening within the column, I'm going to style the column this way. And if there's any focus within the section, I'm going to style the section in this way. And that's going to, that styling is going to toggle on and off as you click on and off those fields. So that's the concept there. And this is the CSS that you can add to change here. This first one up here is just to add kind of like a smooth transition. Like here, you can see like when I click out of it, it's like a smoother transition. That's all that's doing. The focus here, the focus, form focus within, I added to the H2, that targets this right here. That's my H2, that's my heading. And so when I click on my field, it's going to change the font size to 14 pixels and change the color to like a gray, a lighter gray. So that's why when I click on a field, you see that text now has changed. Well, I can't hover over it because it disengages the focus state, but you get the idea. The column. So the column, this is bugging me. The column is going to have a new background color. It's going to be white. I think it already is white, but just in case. Oh, yeah, I don't want it. I'm changing the background color of the section, so I had to add a background color to that column so it wouldn't bleed through and show the section color as well. So change the background color. I'm using transform scale, which is basically going to scale it 120% of its current size. So just make it a little bigger. That's why when I click on it, everything gets bigger. It's actually the whole column is actually growing in size. Therefore, everything within the column is growing as well. And then I'm adding a box shadow to kind of add to the pop out effect. There you go. See that box shadow around? That's actually around the column. So, and then the last thing is adding a Divi, a background color to the section with the focus within. So when I click on a field, it actually changes the style of that entire, or that background section. As you can see, it starts off white. When I click on a field, it turns that pinkish color there. That's it, guys. And of course, sky's the limit with how you want to change this with custom CSS. I realize that this is using custom CSS, but if you do have knowledge of CSS, this should be, really exciting for you to try out new things, stuff like that. If you don't really know any custom CSS, I mean, really searching and finding different CSS snippets that can change things is really easy. If you Google or check out the other tutorials that we may have, you can find out how to add some custom CSS to these elements to change it up however you like. So let's save this out. First, I need to make my screen size back to normal. Save this code and save my settings. And let's go ahead and view it live and see if it's working correctly. So here's my form. Let's click on it, and yes, it is. So as you can see, I click out. Basically, if I click anywhere that's not an input field, or actually the button, it will toggle back to original state. But once I click on a field, it has the focus state and tells all these other elements to get styled accordingly with the focus within CSS pseudo class. Okay, so let's get to a couple of questions here. Nicola asks, how do you make your marker pink when you marked get in touch instead of it to be blue? How do you make the marker pink when you marked get in touch? Oh, gotcha. That's my browser settings. That's just what I have as my default, like, I don't know, color. I forget what it's called. What you want, like my theme color of my Chrome browser. That's just on the browser side. That's not anything within Divi. But I'm surprised you noticed that. Yeah, I changed it to that color a while back because I was bored, but yeah, I think the default is blue. Does focus within, this is from Emilio, does focus within expect a form tag, or can that work with any HTML element? I believe it can work with any HTML element. This is actually new to me as well. I immediately try it out on a form because that's usually where the focus state is often used. I know it can be used on a button as well, but yeah, I think any element in HTML. But that is a good question. I think as long as it's a descendant, or it has a descendant that has that focus here, this focus pseudo class in it, it will it will work. It will style accordingly. But it's a good question. Probably something I should have known already, but I'm like 99% sure it doesn't have to have a form tag with it. It's not specific to a form. All right. Any other questions? Should we try it out on this email opt-in form and see what happens? Okay. Yes, I'll try it. So to do that, basically, I'm going to be adding some classes here. So let me open up this form, email opt-in. Just give it the same class. So Divi form focus, I believe. Make sure those names are right. Let's go to that column. Divi column focus. And I'm not going to change the section background. Let's just keep those two. But I am going to need to add some padding to this column because I know it's going to need it once CSS is applied. So I'm going to do the same padding as I did earlier. So 5% top, bottom, 3% left and right. And yeah, you can see it already works in the actual Divi Builder preview there in the Visual Builder. But let's save it out and look at it on the live site nonetheless. So here's my contact form. And let's come down to my email opt-in. So there you go. Pretty cool. And notice that this one already had some FocusState styling for the actual field from the pre-made layout built in already. But as you can see, even though these have the same classes, if I click on this field, notice that this doesn't change at all, right? Because it only applies to the focus within CSS pseudo class only kind of works downward, like to the child element. It has to have a descendant with the focus. So this is it basically stops with the section here, right? So only this one would stop at this section, right? But if I were to kind of like maybe copy or move this form into this same section or whatever, it would probably change this. It will change the section background as well. Hope that made sense. Here's the final result. Hope you like it. Let's get some last minute questions in and then we'll call it a day. Emilio says, thanks, this was interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I had some fun with it. Of course, I didn't really explore all the possibilities. I didn't get too crazy with it, but feel free to test some new designs out for yourself. All right. All right, that's all I got for you. That's all I got for you this week. Feel free to reach out in the comments. This video will be posted on our YouTube channel and Facebook as well. If you want to view it later on, it will be there. And please be sure to like the video if you do like it, and subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. And click to get those notifications so we can send you new content every time it comes available. Get ready for our next live stream, which should be this Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, the weekly WP Roundup. And we'll be back here next week with another Divi use case live stream. And that will also be at 3 p.m. Eastern. So thanks, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.